Everybody to video number 13 of RC aircraft design using SolidWorks. So the last video we went about the process of lofting the center section of the wingtip. As you can see, I've got a couple of extra pieces here across the trailing edge. This one right here, basically what I did is I just created another cross section and then a slight little I'll put another plane that you see that's parallel with the end of the wing, and then I just did a cross section of this original part we lofted, and then the section there I sketched on that face to create that blue sketch you see in there, and then I used the intersection curve tool to come up with this little airfoil section here. I could have done another plane further out and also continue this on, which I may still do. So depending on how I decide I want to do that, I might go ahead and delete this loft and create a larger loft, because what happened is I did a boundary of this profile along the trailing edge. You can see it leaves this kind of oddball shape area that's not filled in, which really is not that big of a deal. You can fill that in with some little bit of light body work. Because this on a small quarter or even an 8 scale model is going to be extremely tiny of an area, and there's still an exit duct that we have to put in here. So what we're going to do now is I'm basically going to show you how I came up with this, but we're going to go along the leading edge. So first thing I want to do is I'm going to make the leading edge, instead of just a single plane, I'm going to add an additional plane right about where you see this curve here beginning. So using this lateral plane that I put in, I'm going to go ahead and add an additional one that is going to be parallel to that plane, but it's only going to be 3 or 4 inches. So you can see that's pretty close. Let's see what 4 inches looks like. I don't want to get it completely in that curve, but I want to get it as close to it as I can. 3 is not quite enough. 4 looks like it's a little too much, so we'll split the difference at 3.5. And this one here will be the lateral plane 2. So enough of that. We'll save it. We can also hide it because we don't need to see it. And then that original one I put in, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do a sketch there. Sketch that. Now we want to do the same thing. We want to do an intersection curve. You notice this is all lofted as one piece. There's no split line like a hard edge like there is on the leading edge. So we only have to select one face, and then we get both lines. And then what I'm going to do, so we can exit out of that tool, I'm going to bring this over and that out so they cross. And then the next one I want to do is a intersection curve with this face here. And there we have that one. And we can exit out of that, and then we can make it to where this point of that line is coincident with that one, and this point is coincident with that one. And then we can take the trim entities, and then we can trim both of these away. Next thing we want to do here is we want to, if I can find the one drawing that I want to look at, that one there, show that we want a center line that's coincident with this and that one. So we're going to draw our center line, come out here. This we want to be perpendicular to that line, and this point here we want to pierce that line. And what that does, it gives us a nice little center line of our chord. Excuse me. Now we want to do a nice little radius. So we're going to do this here. This radius that we just put in, we're going to make tangent with that one. And we're also going to make tangent with this one. Next thing we want to do is put a point here. And the reason for this point is you want this point to pierce the leading edge of our top view. And that makes sure the leading edge is the correct location. Now, using our trim entities and the power trim, we can trim all of this extra stuff we don't need. And now we have a cross section of more or less what the leading edge of the wingtip will look like. I'm not really too worried about this being perfect because, like I said, there's a huge inlet and an exit duct that has to go here. So we'll do that. I'm just going to start shortening the names on these things, so I'm starting to run out of ways to name all this stuff. So that one we can leave there. The next one we're going to do is lateral plane 2. We're going to basically do the exact same thing. Intersection curve the face. So we have that. And then we are going to exit that tool, stretch that one, stretch that one. We want to intersection curve this front face once again. Have that. That point coincident with that line. This point coincident with the bottom one. Center line it here. Come across. That point pierce to that one. And this line perpendicular to that one. Then a 3-point arc once again. That arc will be tangent with the lower one. And it will also be tangent with the upper one. Put a point on the arc. Okay, don't know why I did that, but hey. Just undo it for whatever reason. There we go. Put a point on the arc. And then this point, we will mark as piercing for that one. There we go. And now we can power trim all of our stuff that we don't need anymore. And there we go. Wingtip leading edge 2. Save all this information here. You can see here we already have a sketch. Wingtip leading edge tip 2. That one we can use as well, with this one, what we're going to do is we're going to hide that one. We want to start a new one. And we want to convert this, that, and that. And then these points here, we want to be coincident with this one, but I had forgotten to trim that one. So do that. Then we can trim this there. There we go. Boop, boop. There we go. And then this sketch we were just working at, we can create it to where it comes to that one. Pierce it doesn't work, so we'll try coincident, which does. Same thing here with this one. Zoom in a little bit so we get a better view upon it. Maybe we can just drag it. Nope, doesn't like that point. Let's try this one. There we go. Now those will be our guide curves for the leading edge, and then this, or for the top and the bottom of that, will be a guide curve for the leading edge. Wingtip leading edge guide curve GC. There we go. Next thing we're going to do, come back to lofted boss base. It's saying, hey, you need at least 2 closed or whatever profiles. Don't want that one. I need to show. There we go. That one we need to share. Now back to lofted boss base. Select that profile, this profile, and this profile. You can see it goes all crazy. So if we clear selections, if you come to this profile here and you select the point, then you this profile, you select the same point, and the next profile, you say the next point. Look how nice that is. It doesn't give you any wonky looking curves or anything. So now for our guide curves, we want the top surface of the airfoil, the bottom surface of the airfoil, and then the leading edge. And it's probably going to do something weird, saying, hey, I don't like it. Yep, guide curve number 2 does not intersect with section number 1. So let's clear all these and let's try this. We'll just select just the leading edge. We'll scroll it around a little bit, and that looks pretty good. See, it does have some weirdness down here at the bottom, which we can select that one. And it's going to tell us the same thing. Guide curve number 2 does not intersect with section number 1. Okay, well, we'll see here. We'll go back and fiddle with this stuff to figure out why it's not working. So this one here, select that point, and this spline, it doesn't like that one. Nope. Try this. Nope, doesn't like that one either. There to there. Coincident. Just drag it away to make it get to where you want it. That one to not there. But to this one, go inside it. Yep. Let's see if this one will work better with this on this lower spline at that point. All right, there we go. Now it should work. Back to our lofted boss. Select our points of our sketches. Next one. Next one. Doesn't like that one. I don't want that one. Keep selecting that one for some reason. All right, let's do this. Let's hide that sketch. That's the sketch we don't want. Now let's do a loft from that point. This profile from that point. This profile from that point. There we go. Now we're doing something. Leading edge curve. The top airfoil. There we go. Now the bottom airfoil. That looks much, much better. So now we got the leading edge. We got merge tangent faces, previews, and let's merge the result. Click the green check mark, and ta-da! There we go. That looks much, much better. And that will be the wingtip leading edge loft. Hide that sketch because we don't need to see it anymore. And of course, we will save it. So basically, what I just did for this wingtip is just a loft. That's basically exactly what I did with this one. What I'm going to try and do now is find the boundary here. We're going to move it all the way to the end. I just click and drag it. And now what we can do is we can try and loft basically the exact same way. We can do it back here as well. So let's see here. We need that one. And then we need to sketch on the lateral plane here. Sketch that. We're going to do the same thing, our intersection curve along that. Come out and back across. Now this is one of the weird ones because of the slight reflex or indentation of the airfoil. These don't quite work how you want them to. So we're going to convert this face here. That is not what I wanted to do at all. Intersection curve is what we're looking for. That one. There we go. Now this and this we want to merge. And that one we want to merge. Next thing we want to do is we want to put the vertical side of our leading edge, or trailing edge, I'm sorry, here. And we want it to be parallel with that one. We also want them to be equal length. And then we want to put a point in the middle of it. And this point, we want to intersect or pierce the top trailing edge curve. Next thing we're going to do is, because there's a little bit of an undercamber or curve to it, we're going to use a 3-point curve. I'm going to select that. Do the same thing on the bottom surface there. And then this curve and that spline should be tangent. Same thing here. Also tangent. Now that we have that, we can create construction geometry out of those intersection faces that we use for those. And there we go. Now what we can do is go in here. Let's save it, because this loft here, I'm actually going to delete now. Actually, I might not have to. Yep, I'll have to delete that, because if I try and just insert this sketch to it, watch, you'll see what happens. It most likely won't work. Yeah, see, the sketch is not available because it's below the feature tree. The feature tree being all of this information. So in order for us to be able to use this sketch, we'd have to drag it up, but you see we can't do that. So what we'll have to do is we'll have to delete that loft there. And it's going to say, hey, we're going to get rid of this boundary. And then it's also saying we're going to get rid of sketch 87. So unfortunately, the sketch we just put in, we're going to have to redo again. But hey, Now you can just see it twice. Sketch it. Intersection curve this and this. Do it all as one. Save a little bit of time. See here now, these don't move at all. Now these two here can be construction geometry. We'll do our little trailing edge line here. It also comes there, and there, parallel and equal. Put our point right in the middle. Oops. Point and then the trailing edge curve, pierce them. 3-point arc for the top. 3-point arc for the bottom. Not liking that for some reason. There we go. Do it for the top once again. Make those tangent with the curves across the center loft. There we go. Now I got those all done. Now what we can do is we can loft that feature once again. So this one I don't want to do just yet. That point, guide curve here. Excuse me. Allergies are kicking my butt this year. Then a guide curve here, and then the guide curve there, which it had already selected. There we go. And now what you see, zoom out, we get that entire tip as one nice loft instead of multiples. And unable to, because of zero thickness geometry. Basically, it's saying that there's a very, very, very slight gap between the parts to where it can't merge them for some reason. So we'll just undo merge result. There's that. Now we get that trailing edge tip off. We'll hide the curvature outline. And then tools. We'll come in and insert features and then combine. We'll combine those two and we'll make sure it's add. Then we'll try that. Now it won't let us do it either. So most likely there's just a minuscule little bit of a gap between these parts that I'll have to find the adjustment and the sketches to make it work. So there's that. Let's see if we can figure out where exactly the problem is. Sometimes when you have a sketch like this where it's completely closed as a guide curve, sometimes that creates problems. So this trailing edge tip 3, we're going to get rid of that to where it's no longer completely closed. What I want to do is I want to move it way, it won't let me move it. All right, so we'll just hide that one. And then what we'll do is we'll sketch on this face. And then convert those entities. We don't need, we'll trim all this stuff out because we don't need it. And this point here, we'll make sure that they're coincident. Nope, won't work with that one. How about pierce? That work? Nope, won't work with that one either. Try that one. Nope. Get rid of the pierce point, try coincident. There we go. So coincident works there. Coincident there. Nope. Pierce. Nope. Now let's try coincident. Now it works. See, sometimes this thing just drives you nuts, and then we don't need that vertical line either. Move that one there. Coincident. Move this one there. Also coincident. Boom. There we go. Now let's try it again. Let's see if this will work. Yes, we know we got to have two closed or open profiles. There's one profile. There's a second profile. You see I didn't click on the corner, so it kind of throws things off. And I also need to do, that needs to be shown again. All right, back to loft. Select that profile, that corner. Nope. I want this profile, that corner. Yep, there we go. This profile, that corner. There we go. Guide curve here. Ta-da! That one, yes. And this one, yes. Merge results, green, boom. See, there we go. It's amazing how something just so simple. It's literally the exact same sketch, but the computer says it's not. Those things are the headaches with learning SolidWorks, is figuring out why exactly something didn't work. All right, so there we got our wingtip. You notice I've got the wing fillets here. I don't have any good data for the wing fillet, unfortunately, but I do know that it is a very, very small fillet. It's not like a P51 or P47 or anything where they got this huge wing fillet. So I'll have to replicate this again on the other side, so I'll show you guys that all later. For now, this is the wingtip. I'm going to do some preliminary looking for the ducts here at the leading edge and the trailing edge to determine if these areas need to be filled in a little bit more, or if we can possibly get away with not filling them at all, and then the duct will just fill in that work. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to fill them in, but we can figure that out here momentarily and later on. But for now, that's pretty much video number 13. Yeah, so until next time, hope y'all have a good afternoon. See you then.